see the transfer rack there. If you could free up one end of the transfer rack.
Which one would you like? The lucky one?
I want you to link one end to this side right here. Yep, and then release the other side. And then it's going to stay on that. There you go. Perfect. Leave it alone. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for TCA here.
Yeah, copy that, Luca. And what kind of GCA would you like?
All right, Jessica, we're going to go your body left.
Okay, copy body left. And how far?
We're going to go about 80 centimeters. And my clearance is going to be taken care of by me with my legs. And Drew, maybe check my APSR.
Yep.
And Luca, was that 15-1-5 or 5-0?
It was 8-0.
8-0. Okay, 80 centimeters to your left. And Drew, the decreasing clearance there will be Luca's left shoulder to the row U.
Copy. And Luca can help with that one a bunch too.
Okay, starting motion, Luca.
Yep, down starters my.
Motion.
Copy, continuing.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, 3 hours and 20 minutes into today's spacewalk by Parmitano and Morgan. We're in a gap between satellite coverage on the tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll regain our downlink television capability from the orbital outpost momentarily. Parmitano and Morgan making good progress in this first of at least 4 spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer, having removed a debris shield and having jettisoned it. That occurred about 45 minutes or so ago. Parmitano and Morgan now working in tandem for the installation of a series of handrails that will facilitate their access to various work points inside the cosmic ray detector that will occur on the next pair of spacewalks coming up, the next of which is a week from today, to begin the cutting and splicing of cooling tubes that will accept a brand new cooling pump module that was delivered to the International Space Station on the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo craft a couple of weeks ago. And a good view from Drew Morgan's helmet camera looking at Space Station Commander Luca Parmitano at the alpha magnetic spectrometer, working deliberately and ahead of the timeline in the installation of handrails. The first order of business, the removal of thermal insulation to expose brackets on the scientific instrument to which the handrails will be installed a short time from now.
So, Luca, this one may be slightly different than the last. We want to avoid opening up any MLI that's not on the brick.
Well, we're going to cut just one piece of lacing so that I can free up the base of this.
Okay, yep, we copy. That's good, Luca.
Okay. I think they will do. Here's the Democratic back.
Copy. All right.
And Luke and Drew, just for your essay, I am putting the brakes on right now.
Copy, brakes on.
And are now on.
Copy.
Okay, on your ret is the handrail. And open the slider. Sorry, didn't do that. It's like good alignment. So, Luca, let's come to bring it off again. Uninstall. I can see that there is, again with for the carriage to ride forward, see that mound of MLI. I think we got to kind of pull that down in a way. And even down. Yep, exactly. I think that might do it.
How does it look, Drew?
Okay, so don't look flush up at the top. That looks good. There we go.
Okay.
Installed.
Installed and locked.
Okay. Put a little shake from the tether pointer, and yeah, that looks good.
All right.
Let's see.
Excellent work.
Look at the end there. One real quick check. We give it a shake again. Okay. And we do expect some travel on this with it in the locked position. A-firm,
Drew. Yeah, that's
pretty comfortable.
That's as expected.
Okay.
As long as it's locked, which you said it was. We saw the wiggle test. Looks good to us.
Okay. Yep. Right, and I have a good WBS view here of both. If Luca, if you want to give that a shake again. That looks good. Yeah. Yep.
It's the same for both.
Great.
This one is the most solid one.
Yep. Okay.
Drew, I'm gonna have to give you the camera now.
Okay. See if they have a preference if you want me to take it for good, I could put it into X4, which is coming in with me. What do you think of that?
Just a thought, keeping it accessible for the arm ride back as well.
That's true.
And you're welcome to temp stow it on the row U.
Whatever you prefer, Luca. You just row U accessible for you.
Okay. Let's. I want to get closer to my work site.
I got it. Do you want to put the camera on the row U, or do you want to give it to me?
I'll give it to you first.
Okay.
Okay, Drew?
Yep. I'm just gonna, don't release yet. I'm gonna put it on, here. In the event that we decide to leave it on the exterior of your bag, it's your bag, you're gonna take in one. All right, so you can release the ret from that end now. App, camera. Got it.
Okay, so, maybe I'm ready for my next, task.
Okay, just a quick look at the MLI around those handrails and make sure we don't have any exposed mylar. Doesn't look like we see any in the cameras, but just double check that for us. And then you're going to GCA into the VSB.
I don't see any mylar.
Okay, and a reminder, we need to clear that AMS 1553 terminator on the IPA as you GCA in there. And you're going to install 2 long wire ties. And then Luca.
I did not copy your last indicating garbles.
Okay, Luca. First thing, let's just do a glove and hap check while we got a second.
Okay, I do have nominal gloves. Right one, left one. Those are nominal, my happy dry.
Okay, your next step is the GCA into the VSB in order to install the wire ties. The caution is we got to watch that 1553 terminator on the IPA.
Okay, I have a view on it. Jessica, whenever you're ready, what I want to start with is about 20 centimeters body down towards my feet, and then I'm going to pitch in.
Okay, copy that. We're going to start down and then pitch in. It'll be 20 centimeters down to start. We did put brakes on, so I'm going to start with taking brakes off.
Copy that.
Luca, give your ingress data pull for me. Perfect.
Okay, starting motion down.
Copy, starting motion. No motion?
Stopping motion.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to avoid this one. I want to get right here. Jessica, we're going to go body right, 50 centimeters.
Okay, body right 20 centimeters, and for Drew and Luca, that's going to be watching Luca's clearance to the AMS.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, 3 hours, 32 minutes into the spacewalk today by Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan. The crew continuing to run well ahead of the published timeline, having all but wrapped up the installation of a series of handrails on the outside of the alpha magnetic spectrometer. The debris shield removal task having been completed just over an hour ago, about 8:17 a.m. Central Time. The crew will be pressing ahead soon to remove thermal insulation around what is called the VSB, or the vertical support beam, underneath which houses the cooling tubes for the cooling loops for the cosmic ray detector. That will set the stage for the start of the cutting of these tubes on the second spacewalk and the installation of a brand new cooling pump module on the third spacewalk in the series that is planned to span at least 4 excursions outside of the International Space Station by Parmitano and Morgan.
continue motion.
Copy, continuing.
Okay, stop motion. Jessica, this is going to be very, very fine ball motion. I need 5 to 10 centimeters head up towards my head.
Okay, copy. 5-10 head up, and Drew and Luca, that's going to be the wrist of the arm and also the boot plate to the diagonal beam.
Copy. I got those in view.
Okay, and I can see the full wrist.
Okay, starting motion.
Copy. Motion. Okay, stop motion right there.
Stopping motion.
Now towards the AMS, body in.
Copy, body in, and of course that will be your own clearance to AMS. And about how far?
I would say 20, and I'll call you when to stop.
Copy. Starting motion.
Luca, lean back a little bit. You'll get better clearance to the vacuum case during the actual GCA. Lean back. Oh.
That's 20. And you were cut off there, Luca. Was that good?
We'll call this stop motion, and I would rather have the brakes off for now, and I'll tell you if I need more rigidity.
Okay, copy that. Brakes will remain off and GCA complete for now.
For now, GCA complete.
All right, that looks like a familiar position, Luca.
I hope so. Okay, so this is the view, right? Everybody's agreement?
Sorry, Luke, I didn't understand that. Your next task is putting the wire ties on.
Okay, and this is the work.
I agree with you, Luca. That's the VSP there that you were touching.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the VSP.
Rather
Sorry.
than you pull those ones, Luca, rather than you dealing with getting those ones off there, do you want to use some out of the wire tie caddy and then lead? Is that acceptable?
Yeah, it's acceptable.
I got them, Drew.
Great.
So Luca, for these,
and then maybe the next one we'll use one.
We're just doing 2 of them, one zenith, one nadir, and you're just loosely putting them on there. So 3 twists, but just near the top is fine. Drew, can I get a glove and hap check from you? Drew, can we get a glove and hap check from you when you're ready?
Yeah, at the time you called for Luca's, I checked mine. There's a outer panel RTD left pinky finger, the more distal patch that's just starting to elevate, much like I've seen in the past on these gloves. There's intact RTV underneath it. Map is dry.
Okay, we copy, and we could see it in your WVS.
Okay, so you will like one of the ones in here. Stand by.
I'll take you.
You have a red? Yeah, I could use the transfer red. I have your red. A long wire tie from lock back for yours. It was easier to get off.
Definitely easier to get in one off.
Drew, next thing we need is the Lancer.
Copy. Lancer's available.
All right, the next thing you can start getting ready for, Drew, is a inventory of crew lock bag 1. We're no rush.
Roger. The Lancer is here on the transfer red. You can leave it on the transfer red if you want. You.
Okay, Luca, we're cutting lacing cord now. Reminder, we want to avoid cutting, actually cutting the MLI itself if we can.
Get the lacing cord off the hook in the trash bag. I'm going to start a crew lock bag with weed here.
You remind me to cut also the MLI in the middle. Sorry, the lacing cord in the middle of the MLI.
So you're talking about lacing cords in the middle, Luca?
This is Mission Control Houston, 3 hours 43 minutes into today's spacewalk. Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan currently preparing to cut away a series of points where thermal insulation is covering the vertical support beam on the alpha magnetic spectrometer, underneath which are the delicate stainless steel cooling tubes that they will cut and splice together in the bypass surgery required to install a new cooling pump on the third spacewalk in the series coming up in the days ahead. One of the tools being used in support of this activity is a zip tie cutter that was designed by students associated with the Microgene Next project representing Lone Star College Sci-Fair here in Houston. They designed a tool that was modified by the spacewalk engineering community here at the Johnson Space Center. Veteran astronaut Chris Cassidy sat down with us recently to discuss how innovative this particular tool is in support of the alpha magnetic spectrometer repair effort.
I think this was prototype number 1 that I'm holding in my hands right now. And it might be challenging to see, but there's a little groove down there, and you push the plunger and a guillotine chops the zip tie. And this was good for a first take, but then the force is purely on your thumb. And in some cases it was challenging to kind of push through a particularly tough zip tie. So we said, hey, maybe you could get some more force or force assist actually in there. And then what about when you cut it now, if your thumb slips off, you release it and the zip tie floats away. So we thought maybe it'd be cool if you could capture somehow the zip tie and keep it. And so with those comments, we came back with, this is the final answer, which you simply press this lever, which is a significant less force than what is being delivered to the zip tie. So you can really slam that guillotine down with there, and there's some mechanical advantages inside. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can see, but the guillotine is fixed now in the down position. So it cuts it and grips it. And the tool now has the cut zip tie in it. We can take this tool and put the whole end of the tool into a trash bag and push this button, which does two things. It cocks it for the next operation and also releases the guillotine, and whiz bang, the zip tie is now in the trash bag. Just a simple tool, elegant in its simplicity, and super, super useful beyond AMS. This is going to be a nice tool for us on the rest of the space station.
But testimony to youth and innovation in even coming up with this concept.
Absolutely. You know, throw challenging problems to bright young kids and you're going to get some amazing solutions, and this is just one of many examples in our space program.
Veteran astronaut Chris Cassidy recently discussing with us some of the aspects of the alpha magnetic spectrometer repair effort. In this particular instance, one of the 20-plus tools specially designed for the AMS repair effort itself. 3 hours, 46 minutes into the spacewalk. This view from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera as he continues to pull back thermal insulation covering the vertical support beam. This is essentially a long rectangular structure that covers the cooling tubes that he and Drew Morgan will be cutting and splicing together as part of the bypass repair work coming up on subsequent spacewalks associated with the alpha magnetic spectrometer repair.
And the knob to the blue tool. And then around the 10 o'clock position, I've got an adjustable with the pin on it. AAF plug rather. And everything sounds good there?
Okay, Drew, that all sounded good. We thought we heard one extra adjustable. We're just talking about that.
So there are. I have 3 adjustables in here. 2 were.
Yeah, I'll just stop you there. I think that's the right number, Drew. We're good. 3 is right.
Okay. So we're good on that bag. I'll seal it up and we'll call it good.
We're good on that bag, Drew. Just a reminder, we will open it back up one more time just to put a trash bag in at the end, but for now, that's a complete inventory.
Copy. That's the trash bag that's on the vacuum case handrail.
That's the one. Next tool we're going to need is the zip tie cutter, Drew.
Copy, it's available.
It is.
Okay, warning as you get in there, Luca, is to avoid contact with the back of the IPA and the VSB for the sharp edges on the nut plates, and then as well as cut zip ties when we get there.
So what do you think on the Lancer? Are you going to need it anymore?
Yeah, well, Drew, you pass me the donut cutter?
Yep.
So Luca, on the procedure, there was one piece of lacing cord possibly behind the TTCB, so you might want to give that consideration. That's your right side. So if that flap's not opening as much as you want, that could be what's going on there.
These one?
Yeah, be in there somewhere.
These one?
A-firm.
You want me to cut those?
It's up to you. Just if it's in your way, the MLI, yeah, absolutely go for it.
On the transfer rep. Looks like that's a pretty good position.
You made this lacing cord? This is cord is the lace equivalent of the Japanese tape.
All right, Luca, I couldn't copy your last there, but I did see you pull out another piece of lacing cord there.
That is correct.
Careful, you're tearing on that a little bit. There you go. I would try to get it to the cutting surface. Cut it and then grab it with the grabbers. Go.
Really great work today. Things are going excellent. Just keep plugging along.
All right. Okay, I have a good view of the zip ties.
All right, that's great. That's our next job, is to use a zip tie cutter to get in there and start releasing some of those, obviously without undoing the ribbon cable bundle itself.
In the process of transferring those tools over.
Copy. Take your time.
Hey, Luca, just talk to us about the IPA and those sharp edges on the back of it. We think the way your hand is, the way you're grabbing it looks perfectly fine, but we just want to make sure we're all on the same page. There are some sharp edges either further down or if you curl your fingers up in there. And so just wanted to remind you about it.
Yeah, no, I remember these from the training. I cannot curl my hand around that. So it's currently just sitting on top, and if you have a view from Drew, you should be comfortable with that.
Yeah,
I'll try to grab some GoPro of it too.
We're good. That little conversation we just had will save everybody lots of discussion here on the ground, so we're good. Keep going.
The side cutters.
And this view from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera shows the space station commander using the student-inspired zip tie cutter tool to cut through
and then after that,
thermal insulation covering the vertical support beam structure, underneath which are the cooling tubes for the alpha magnetic spectrometer. We're at the 3-hour, 56-minute mark into today's spacewalk, the crew still running substantially ahead of the timeline.
so Luca, we know this tool can be a bit manual. Looks like it's going real smooth, but you can pass that off to Drew to reset it if that helps you out.
It's okay. Drew's helping with capturing the zip ties.
Good, Luca. As advertised.
All right.
This one broke up.
It's a great tool, though. That's been working real slick.
That piece, if you hand it to me, I'll try to deal with it. Got it.
I guys, this is the part. I see one more piece out there. I need to get off.
Okay, copy that, and then we'll assess how much slack is in that ribbon cable. Shed some light on that mystery that's been plaguing us for a while.
It's really going to be the moment of truth. Oh.
Okay, you guys can count on a sunrise in the next couple minutes.
Roger.
Sky cutter.
Sky cutter back. Don't transfer red. You can leave it.
Hey, we are in luck. Hey, it's advertised. I have enough slack. It'll take me a couple of minutes to put everything behind the VSD cover.
Excellent, Luca.
Ah, man.
Drew, I'll grab a glove and hap check from you.
Copy. The app is dry. Stand by for gloves.
Luca, the other thing we want to check today is inspecting behind the VSB for that cable to see if we're going to be able...
already.
Okay.
Found it already. It is pretty loose. That's not going to be an issue.
Okay, you said it's not going to be an issue?
I found it and it's loose and it's floating underneath and behind.
Okay, good words.
That one is not an issue. This one, on the other hand, you see it right there.
Okay, yeah, I saw it there in the WVS moving. Looks good.
Okay, and yeah, it's good. Now, guys, I think that the top, I might want to cut a little more the MLI. Is that something that you guys agree? I can try and just capture those fasteners just using the fastener without undoing the MLI. That's also a possibility.
Checking. Okay, Luca, so the short answer is yes, we're okay with you cutting that, but the risk is that the ribbon cable is up in that bundle as well. So you're just going to need to be really aware of the ribbon cable if you want to cut more lacing cord.
Let's try without. Let's try without. Just, I'm going to break torque and try to go behind it and the IDMLI. How's that sound?
Yeah, we like that idea. Let's give it a whirl. So the next thing is going to be the VSB cover handling aid.
Ready.
Handling aid on the transfer ret.
Hey, Drew, I'm going to put it on mine.
Okay.
There you go.
I have the gulp it ready when you're ready. When you are ready for it.
Yeah, looks like there is 2 cables in there. 2 white cables underneath.
A-firm, Luca. We're expecting 2 of them.
Okay, I found both.
So, Luca, the push and turn handle at the top there should be running parallel to the capture block.
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is Mission Control Houston, 4 hours, 7 minutes into today's spacewalk, with the crew running substantially ahead of the timeline. They have completed all of the tasks that were listed on the timeline for the first of the 4 scheduled spacewalks in association with the repair of the alpha magnetic spectrometer, and now are pressing ahead with get-ahead work earmarked for the second of the 2 spacewalks that is planned 1 week from today. The first task on this get-ahead block of work is the removal of the cover for the vertical support beam that you see Luca Parmitano working on right now on the alpha magnetic spectrometer. That vertical support beam cover is the cover over the cooling tubes that will be cut and spliced together on a subsequent spacewalk to set the stage, basically the bypass surgery to accept the new pump module that was delivered on the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo craft a few weeks ago.
So we could use this if you want to use. You could use this.
The plan of attack today is just to keep pressing on. Plenty of consumables. The crew is in good shape. Their suits are working perfectly, and to see how far we get in trying to mark time as far ahead as we can as we move from one spacewalk to another in this series of complicated excursions to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Okay. Ready?
Not ready.
Okay. It's your goal bit
Got
and
the
tool.
Got the tool.
I agree. It almost looks like there's a whole like little harness there. And
Now it's completely out.
yeah, you're clear of it now.
All right. Nice work.
Try to get some GoPro view of that. There's a little bit of a bundle there.
Okay, Luca, you're already on it. Brake and torque on 12 fasteners. Reminder, Luca, that the VSB is tilted 15 degrees aft when you're trying to align that gold bit.
Got it. And how many turns do these fasteners have?
So just break.
This is Mission Control Houston as Luca Parmitano begins work on get-ahead tasks that were planned for the second spacewalk in this series a week from today, just to get as far ahead of the game as possible. The crew in the process of removing the cover for the vertical support beam that provides the shelter over the cooling tubes that will be cut and spliced for the alpha magnetic spectrometer in the support of the installation of the new upgraded thermal tracker cooling system that was delivered to the station a few weeks ago. We are continuing to take some questions on social media at the hashtag AskNASA. The next in the series, how long does an average spacewalk last? Spacewalks are generally budgeted for about 6.5 hours in duration. We often exceed that amount of time, but it's strictly based on how the crew is feeling and the amount of consumables available in their spacesuits that act basically as an enclosure, their own internal spacecraft itself as they're operating in the void of space and weightlessness. So 6.5 hours is the baseline, but there's no limit up to that point as long as the consumables exist. The longest spacewalk in history was conducted years ago by Susan Helms and Jim Voss, an 8-hour, 56-minute spacewalk during an earlier space shuttle assembly flight to the International Space Station.
Yeah, that's good news.
About an hour and a half ago, one of the first major tasks was completed, the removal of a debris shield over the alpha magnetic spectrometer and its jettisoning by Drew Morgan. The next question that we have, why is the debris shield not being reused? The answer is it's no longer required. It will be replaced by thermal insulation at the end of this series of spacewalks, but the debris shield is no longer required because the new cooling pump package is being installed in a different location on the alpha magnetic spectrometer, and the equipment that the debris shield was covering beforehand is being bypassed for a new route for cooling tubes in that instrument to provide the proper cooling for the internal cosmic ray detector hardware. So that debris shield is history and no longer being required for use in the operation of the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Right. Yeah. 12 fasteners, broken.
Okay, you can transfer the gold bit back to Drew, and you need the PGT.
The red bit.
Copy.
Either as you're transferring it or when you get it, Luca, you're looking for Alpha 2, Counter 2.
Alpha 2, Counter 2, copy. In the pool. It's joking.
Okay, Luca. Ready for a ret handoff on this one?
That's right. Here comes my ret. Lieutenant, I see yours. I have the tool, and use your ret.
Okay, get the ret. You have the PGT.
I have the PGT. And turning it on again.
And Luca, I just want to double check with you. We got 12 torques broken total.
That's affirmative. Okay, good cow. Ready test. I have alpha 2 counter 2 set.
Okay, those are good settings. You're going to release the fasteners and start on the zenith side and then put them in the capture block. 5 to 10 turns total. You need about 3 to 4 for head clearance.
Okay, so first I need clearance.
A-firm. Yep, you got it.
So you said how many total?
Total is 5 to 10, and then 3 to 4 to get clearance.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of left there. Hey, number 1, captured.
AC done.
In the blind. Okay. That was the hardest one. So everything should be a little easier for now.
Drew, it's your call. We're done with the gold bit. We can just put it on fish stringer hook 3 in the green bag, or you can swap the green bit before you do that.
Okay, it is on the fish stringer again. And copy. We need to put the green bit on there.
Yeah, we don't need to do that till EVA 2. So it's a get ahead today if you want to do it, or you can leave it as is.
Yeah, while Luke is working these, would be a good time for me to do that.
Okay.
There are 3 out. 3 washers, 3 faster, 3 washers.
Okay. Great stuff. All right, Drew. Once you get that green bit configured with a good pull test on both of them, then we're going to get the APFR reset to a clocking of 9.
Okay, all right. So we're looking that way. Medicine today, then.
Yeah, we're heading that way. The pace that Luke is moving through these fasteners, it looks promising.
Got 4 in.
Copy. All right, Luke and Drew, we're handing over in 20 seconds. We'll be back in a minute.
Copy.
Okay, Luke. I've swapped to the green bit, and so I'm going to start working the APFR. You're a little bit closer in to AMS now, so I don't think I'll bump you as much as I did before, but
Okay.
it is tight.
Sure.
Behind you.
Understood.
Drink water.
Well, let me tell you, man, I am hydrated.
Huh?
Yeah, I can tell you.
Okay. Good. coming, Luca?
I got one that's problematic. I got it.
Nice. Nice. Weedy back with us?
Oh yeah, we've been with you for a while. We're just watching the show. Looks great.
All right, clocking at 9. Go back to
Did you get a pole test, black on black?
yeah, so full twist test, and we're black on black.
All right, and then were you going to put a yaw of 1 in this time?
Yaw of 1. Yes, I would like to.
Three to go.
And Drew, you got a good pull test on the green and the gold bit?
The full test on the green and the gold bit.
I knew you would.
Job.
Yeah, I think that was during the handover beat, but the green bit is on the 12-inch, and it's 3 in the green bag.
Okay, sounds good. So it's 4 hours and 27 minutes into the EVA. We think the go, no-go for jettison is about 5 hours and 30. So we got about an hour to do this, so it looks real good.
Okay, should I go ahead and ingress now that I'm in the position? Or are there other things I could do for you?
No, and maybe you want to keep eyes on for Luca breaking the case, but or breaking the VSB cover. But you're welcome to get in. It's your call.
So you're on the last fasteners?
That's correct.
What would you have me do? I think it's probably about time for me to get in position.
Yeah, Drew. It's one more.
Okay, Luca. It's going great.
We didn't get a chance to really talk about mass properties of the VSB cover because we didn't expect to be here. Any landmarks we could point out for me for center mass?
My expectation is that they are captured through the handing aid.
Okay.
Is the center of mass because the rest is just...
This is Mission Control Houston, 4.5 hours into today's spacewalk by Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan, the first of 4 scheduled spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer. This view from Parmitano's helmet camera showing him continuing to release the screws and fasteners holding the vertical support beam cover in place. This is the structure that covers the cooling tubes that provide the cooling capability for the cosmic ray detector. It appears as if we're on a course that will enable this cover to be removed and jettisoned to join the earlier jettisoning of the debris shield on the alpha magnetic spectrometer that was cast away by Drew Morgan some 2 hours ago.
Yes, battery ends toward me. Okay, and I have a ret to it, and I see your ret going back to you. Releasing your ret, the ret's coming back to you.
Good job. Got it. Okay, now, please remind me something. Currently, the VSB assembling head is attached to both the cover and the VSB itself.
Yeah, that's right. And the next thing you're going to do is unlock the slide lock and then rotate the capture block up and then relock.
That's done.
Okay, sorry, Luca, I missed that. So you just need to kind of lift it up a little bit towards the top of your head. It's just caught on the lip of the VSB. Just kind of push it up towards the vacuum case.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to completely release it though.
Yeah, no, Luca, just give us 1 second here. We just want to talk it through, but you shouldn't have to release the tool. So, and there is a lip. So it seems like to us that you just need to retract that capture block again and then lift it up.
So the lower part is released. Okay, it came out.
Okay, Luca.
You're going to have to come up with something else here. Okay, now I can probably play with it and I'm going to restart from installing it.
The vertical support beam cover plate that Parmitano will be removing here a short time from now. It's a very small rectangular object, 28 inches long by 4 inches, weighs about 1 pound in mass. It also will be handed off to Drew Morgan to be jettisoned aft of the International Space Station, as the crew is now working on tasks originally earmarked for the second of the 2 spacewalks in support of the repair of the alpha magnetic spectrometer. That second spacewalk scheduled 1 week from today.
Yeah. All right. Looks like you got it. That's great. Let's pay attention to the ribbon cable as we do this.
Okay, I'm free of the both cables, and the ribbon cable is away.
Okay. All right. So a couple things to think about here. Once we break the VSB cover, we're going to have sharp edges. That's an important warning. We're avoiding the ribbon cables we talked about, and then when you're breaking the cover, we got to make sure we're not putting any loads in, i.e. Drew needs to be still.
Yeah, I copy.
All right, and Luca, can you just double check the slide lock is engaged again?
Slide lock is engaged.
Okay, that looks good. Let me just check if we're going to break this thing.
Am I go?
Checking.
You are a go, Luca. You have a go to break the cover.
Yes.
Just as expected. That looks wonderful. Okay, let's transfer that over to Drew, and we'll get ready to jettison it.
And the vertical support beam cover now removed, in good shape by Parmitano. He'll hand it off to Drew Morgan for the second of the 2 jettisons planned for this series of spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
There you go. All right, I'm going to temporarily put a red on it till we all get set. Okay, I have a red on it made, and I see the sharp edge, keeping it away from both of us. Your red is back to you. I have handling aid and the VSB.
Let me grab the camera.
Yep.
Okay, let's just take a pause here for a second. Drew, let's verify the handling aid. So make sure the lever is perpendicular, capture block's deployed, and the slide is locked.
Okay, it's perpendicular and slide is locked. And we've got 12 fasteners.
Okay, that looks good. And when you guys have your cameras ready, let us know. And you are go to remove your ret, Drew.
Okay, copy.
Any position, Drew?
You're in position. Okay, my red is removed. Right, straight aft, and then we're 10 degrees to the starboard.
Okay, that looks great. Same pitch as before, and just like you've got it, sail into the wind. That's the right orientation. We see you holding it in right there. You have a go for jettison.
Okay, we have a go for jettison. Hey, Luca?
Yeah, I'm ready. I cannot see it, but...
3, 2, 1.
All right, another great pitch. Good job, Drew. Let's get a glove and hap check when you guys are done taking video and photos.
The vertical support beam cover now is cast away by Drew Morgan, the second of the two jettisons in the spacewalk, 10:16 a.m. Central Time, 11:16 a.m. Eastern Time over the South Atlantic at an altitude of 255 statute miles.
Okay,
Right.
my gloves are no deltas, and good up check, still dry.
Okay, good words. Drew, you can reclock your APFR.
Copy.
And I'm back to 12.
Let me just verify you are at 12. I can see it.
Thanks, Drew.
Okay, gentlemen, things are going very well. We're 4 hours, 39 minutes in. Consumables are still great. So we think we have enough time. Well, we do have enough time to go ahead with VSB spacer removal. So that'll be our next task.
Copy.
Copy.
So Luca, the next question for you is, do you need a GCA to get into position for the VSB spacer, or are you good?
Let me get rid of this camera. I think I'll be good from here.
Okay, that sounds good. Drew, once you're back in the APFR, we'll be going for the green bit.
Copy that.
This is Mission Control Houston, approaching the 4-hour, 40-minute mark in today's spacewalk. The crew running well ahead of the timeline, having completed some of the work that had been planned for the second of the two spacewalks 1 week from today, the jettisoning of a cover for the vertical support beam. This is the component on the alpha magnetic spectrometer that covers the cooling tubes that the crew will tackle for cutting and splicing beginning on the second spacewalk in 1 week. One more task that lies ahead for the crew, at least at the moment, to get ahead for the second spacewalk in a week, is the removal of a so-called vertical support beam spacer. This will provide additional leverage and access to the cooling tubes, 8 stainless steel cooling tubes that lie underneath that component on the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
For today, and then we'll be cleaning up and heading back in. Does that work for you?
What do you think?
We'll work as long as the team feels comfortable in the head.
I'm of the same idea, where those cables seem like a great candidate.
Yep, we understand, Luca.
And but we'll go with your plan. Whatever you come up with, we will go with that plan.
Caller, give me trouble again.
Sometimes, dude, that's the beauty of being early. If you're tired, take it easy.
Seems to be dependent on. I had the most luck with it at nighttime.
Sailing over the South Atlantic at an altitude of 255 statute miles, the view from Drew Morgan's helmet camera now. Morgan and Parmitano working very efficiently in this first of 4 planned spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
If you're comfortable with it, if you just want to go up and pass the green bit over to Luca, and then you can come back and work the APFR.
Yep.
With all of the tasks planned for the first of the 4 spacewalks having been swiftly disposed of, including the jettison of the debris shield on the alpha magnetic spectrometer just over 2 hours ago, the crew pressed ahead, completed the last planned first spacewalk task. That was the installation of handrails on the cosmic ray detector for upcoming work associated with the cutting of delicate tubes that provide the cooling for the alpha magnetic spectrometer. They will be spliced together in bypass work that will accommodate the installation of the new pump, the
12-inch.
The new thermal tracking pump that was delivered on the Cygnus cargo craft a couple of weeks ago, that will restore full cooling for the alpha magnetic spectrometer for the lifetime of the International Space Station. The crew pressed ahead, working to remove the cover for the vertical support beam. That was jettisoned a short time ago, about 6 minutes ago, by Drew Morgan. And now the crew will be removing spacers. Those are devices in the vertical support beam that will provide additional access to the cooling tubes underneath that they will cut and splice together beginning with the second spacewalk coming up a week from today.
Yeah, right to the shaft.
Releasing the knob.
Okay, good work there. So next for you, Luca, we're going to break torque on the C spacer, which is the nadir spacer.
Is one here?
A firm, Luca. And reminder about this bit, Luca, since it doesn't have a ball end on it, you have to be a little bit more, your alignment has to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I broke torque on the top. converting torque on the second one.
Okay, good stuff, Luca. Next, we're going to go to the B spacer, which is the middle one. We're going to break torque. On this one, Luca, after you break torque, you re-snug it, just so we can get the spacer tool on. Drew, next thing we're looking for is the top spacer bag from crew lock bag 2.
Copy. Okay, I broke torque and re-snug it.
While Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan begin work to remove a series of so-called spacers on the vertical support beam that covers and supports the cooling tubes that will be cut and spliced on the next spacewalk by the two spacewalkers. Reports from the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer engineering team is that all of the tracker's systems for the cosmic ray detector are in good shape. Everything is looking good. As work continues to replace the cooling system that will restore the alpha magnetic spectrometer to full capability.
There, and then we'll get the spacer tool.
Reverse your time.
Okay, clocking.
The new cooling pump that is planned for installation on the third spacewalk in this series in early December is called the UTTPS. That's the acronym for the Upgraded Tracker Thermal Pump System, a 350-pound device that measures 42 inches by 32.2 inches by 16.25 inches. That again is currently housed in the airlock of the International Space Station, will be brought outside by Parmitano and Morgan for the third spacewalk under the current planning, even though the crew is running well ahead of their timelined tasks.
Copy, we top spacer tool. Get them back far.
Getting views of the Does it look familiar, Drew?
Very.
Yeah.
Spacer tool to the transfer rep.
Copy. And I think I'm going to put it on one of my reps.
That's fine.
Hey, here's your transfer rep.
Okay, you can let it free.
Back. Okay. Ready to install the spacer tool.
Okay, Luca. So tether point towards ISS zenith, and then verify the 3 latch positions.
Yeah, I see the meter in the position. In the latches position, they're all up. Perpendicular.
Okay, Luca.
Okay, throwing A and B. Locked. Locked. And Charlie locked.
Okay, I heard all 3 are locked.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to release the 2 fasteners into the capture gel.
Do I see them?
10 turns, Luca. Drew, next thing for you is we got to grab an EVA wipe out of the green bag. It's on hook 5. And then you need to decide, Drew, where you want to put this top spacer tool to bring it back inside with you today. Your two options are crew lock bag 1 or 4. 4 only is pretty empty, but it has a camera in it. So if you think you can protect the camera, no problem. It's probably the best place to put it. If you're worried about the camera, then you can put it in crew lock bag 1.
Or will be a better option. I have the divider up, and we can keep them separate. The only camera is the GoPro, and it'll stay on the other side.
That sounds great.
Can you describe for me, is it going to be on a ret, then to the adjustable, and then wrapped in the white?
Yep, just as you just described it to us. That sounds perfect.
Okay, I understand what we need to do.
How's it looking, Luca? Does it look like it's working as advertised?
Oh. See, we'll find out when I pull it. All right. I'm going to try and pull it out.
Okay, just a reminder, we don't release lever C.
Stay in me.
A firm.
It looks like one of them is still.
Copy.
Be hard to tell. Okay, never mind. I'm going to have to go again and do it again.
Okay, Luca. Where are the fasteners right now?
Still in.
It looks like you've got, oh yeah, I see, yeah.
Yeah, the bottom one came halfway out, and the top one did not come out at all.
Okay, all right. Let's give it another try.
Good. Chris would tell us to wiggle our toes.
Sorry, say again, Drew.
Talking to Luca.
Yeah, all good.
Luca, do you think locking out that ret would make that work better for you?
I tried, it didn't. So the rat tends to be locked sideways, and so it doesn't spin freely. EVA tape, we thought it would improve it, but it actually doesn't change a thing.
Got it.
It's all good. You've got to be patient and work it. So getting data from ANS.
Hey, firm, Luca. Still good data. Everything's great.
All right. I'm kind of worried about the cable, lower cable. It's really hard to tell if I know I'm engaged. It's kind of hard to tell if I'm pulling it or not. It's coming out. I have the same sensation as the previous one.
We copy.
Now I have no idea how many turns I give it, honestly. I can see that the washer and the bottom one free spinning, free floating. Okay, so that one definitely came out. The bottom one cooperates. Top one. I'm going to give a couple more turns. I see more than 10.
This is Mission Control Houston. We have now hit the 5-hour mark in today's spacewalk by Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan, the first in the series of spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer and swap out an ailing cooling system on this cosmic ray detector for a brand new cooling pump. This is the 222nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades, the 9th spacewalk staged out of the International Space Station this year. Luca Parmitano well into the 3rd spacewalk in his career. This is the 4th spacewalk for Drew Morgan.
Okay, excellent.
The crew running substantially ahead of the published timeline, now conducting work that had been earmarked for the 2nd spacewalk a week from today, when the two crew members will venture outside the Quest airlock yet again to continue the repair of the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Bag 4 now is the knob and the extension, but the green bit will go on the socket caddy.
Parmitano and Morgan completed all of the tasks associated in the timeline for the first spacewalk some time ago, including the jettison of both a debris shield and the vertical support beam cover. The vertical support beam is right there in their field of view from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera. That is the area that houses the 8 stainless steel cooling tubes that will be cut.
The shaft rats from me. And I'm putting it on the knob as well.
And again, the crew currently preparing the work site with work originally earmarked for the second of the two spacewalks.
Here shortly.
Maybe I can grab my camera back too.
Flight control team about to offer big picture words to the crew about the rest of today's activities.
Clean up at this point, head back to the airlock if you like. We're also equally comfortable with continuing on. We've got about another 28 minutes. We could take a first stab at the data cable, and we're handing over. I'll be back with you in about a minute, so you guys can decide.
Okay, copy.
Again, here in the flight control room at Mission Control in Houston, Flight Director Jeff Radigan consulting with John Malarski, who's the lead spacewalk officer, about what lies ahead for the crew. Again, they have run well ahead of the published timeline, completing everything on the table. For the first of this series of spacewalks, they pressed ahead in the work associated with the second spacewalk.
You can at least go and see it.
Okay, we're back with you. If you want to start the first steps on the cable, we're fine with that.
And I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, Drew, you're going to want to start getting into the small ORU bag number 1. We have a red in there for the Terminator. We're going to
having removed the cover from the vertical support beam and having cleaned up some of the associated hardware with that vertical support beam cover that you're looking at right now in Luca Parmitano's helmet camera. We're going to press ahead, continue to knock off some of the tasks for the second spacewalk next Friday by preparing the replacement of a data cable with a different data cable for the alpha magnetic spectrometer once its cooling system is replaced on the third spacewalk scheduled in early December.
So just kind of wrap that up until we're out next week. But just to clarify, Luca, we don't need to completely close it up. We don't need to protect the tubes. We just don't want any mylar showing. Go ahead, Drew.
Okay, I was there.
Yeah, just go continue with Luca. I've got several tasks I could work here while you get him further.
Luca, we're happy with that. That's all we need. So then the next is figuring out if you need a GCA.
You want me to?
Before the GCA, what can I do for you, Drew?
I was just wanted to see if there was if I could go ahead and inventory Crew Lock Bag 4, but that's going to clobber too much comm. Let's continue.
Okay, copy.
Well, is taking the Terminator the first thing you're going to do?
Affirmative, Luca.
Okay, I don't need GCA. However, is there a way to memorize this position for next week, for the next CDA, so that we end up exactly here without me having to guide Jessica?
Yeah, we definitely can do that, Luca. We'll write down these numbers. So, Drew, we've protected lots of time for the bag cleanup, so there's no rush to get ahead into doing inventories. We can do this cable task, and then we'll get on with that.
Okay, and Reed, I'm ready to rest to the Terminator and release it.
Okay. Let me just double check. We've got to go to release. Okay, Luca, your go.
All right, I'm ready to it, and I'm starting to release.
Okay, and it should be Juliet 4 that you're removing.
And it's removed already, so definitely Juliet 4.
Perfect.
Familiar?
Yep, no, that's great. All right, next you can give that terminator to Drew, and then we need the AMS data cable, which is labeled Papa 4 from the ORU bag 1.
Okay. Copy, Weed. Just to check back with you on the 12-inch, and then the green bit is back to the pocket caddy, good full test. And that's back to bag 2. And then the knob and the 12-inch, that goes into bag 2 as well?
Negative. We're bringing that inside with us today because we're ahead, so you can put that in crew lock bag 4.
Okay, I'll put that in crew lock bag 4, and then Terminator that Luke had just removed.
That's going in ORU bag 1. There's a RET in there for it.
Roger. All right, so
This is Mission Control Houston. The reference to the Terminator is to a data cable for the alpha magnetic spectrometer that was installed back on October 28th, 2015 during Expedition 45 by Scott Kelly and Kjell Lindgren during a spacewalk in which they performed a variety of upgrades to the International Space Station. This data cable connector is being removed and replaced by a different data cable. Again, part of the work that was originally timelined for the second of the 4 spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer. The second spacewalk scheduled 1 week from today. This preparatory work for power and data cable installation for the alpha magnetic spectrometer is likely to be the final task for the 2 spacewalkers today. We'll stand by and see if additional work may be offered to them by the flight control team here in Mission Control.
The cable's in there too, Lucas. You want to get that out. It's labeled Papa 4.
Yeah.
It's in a wipe.
There's the data cable.
yeah, so the data cable's the thinner one right here.
Got it. Thanks. Okay, and the connection it goes. I don't think I've ever done this in training, so go ahead and
Yep. I'll step
give me the big picture.
Step you through it. You're going to remove well, we're looking for the end that's Papa 4. I assume it's in the wipe.
Okay, I have the wipe.
Yeah, team tells me it is definitely in the wipe.
Okay. It is in the wipe. All right, the wipe is out. And
Okay.
I have the connection Papa 4 in my hand.
Okay, so that's the first step, is to mate that with the standard cable checks, no FOD, no bent pins, good AMI on both ends, and then we'll stow the rest of the cable.
Okay, yeah. For Papa 4, I do have a good pins, good in my band, and no FOD.
Okay, and then have a look at that master key. That's going to be station zenith.
Station zenith. The master key, okay. Got it. Sorry, Drew, I just threw it your way.
The bag?
Yeah.
No, I can help with it now.
Okay. Go next. That's a good click. It's good to go.
Okay, good click and good pull test confirm.
I had a good click. I definitely felt it. And good pull test.
Yeah, that's good news, Luca. We know we were concerned about that.
Yeah, it sure is. That went on a lot easier than we expected. Okay, the next we're going to stow the cable bundle with a short wire tie on the row U. And the thing to keep in mind here is where we're going to install the MAD and the UTPS is eventually going to go. We want to make sure this cable is not in the way.
Okay, at this point, we need to be wedded to the cable.
I'm checking. But in the meantime, we're going to use a BRT wire tie for this.
Yeah, I'll just wait for the cable and then release it from the bag. The way it's a little more pliable. And then, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Now, next thing I'm going to do, pop out one foot. And you're 90 degrees. There you go. And, okay, so MAD goes here. So I'm going to bundle. Are we going to bundle just one cable, just this one?
Yeah, so the first step is actually to take the wire tie and put it on the row U cable, around the row U cable, and then we'll put this bundle into that wire tie.
Got it. Okay. Work. I'm sure it's dark out there, isn't it?
Yeah, we're definitely facing nowhere right now.
You want me to, which side of the cable on the Ryu? You want it the nadir side or the zenith side?
The zenith side. Zenith side.
So, looking at the handle, you know, the handle on the Ryu, there's a loop of cables, and I can go there if you guys like that plan.
Yep, that's a good plan, Luca.
Do you have anything in the VWS?
We do. We see it.
Okay, I got 3 loops on that. I'm releasing this one.
Okay, and then you're just going to bundle the cable into it. And we did confirm we're happy with you releasing your RET from the cable. It's connected to station. It's your call.
You know, I'll release it once I done the bundle. Verify one more time.
All right, and we're handing over in 20 seconds. I'll be back with you guys in a minute.
power cable.
Drew,
Yo.
give me a set of eyes here. Look at this and try to imagine the mag and the HTTPS and this cable here.
Fortunately, let's see. Actually, if you lean back, it off over your left side, I think.
I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna move it more.
And just one thing to consider, Luca, is this is the last task we're doing today. When we come back out on the next EVA, we're going to do the power cables, and then they're going to go in with this bundle as well. So we will have another opportunity to straighten this stuff up.
Let's see. Here's my camera. Snap a shot of it. We'll make sure everybody's happy with it. Here's my camera off your left arm.
All right.
See if I can get a shot of it. Not the couple. Okay, what else you got for us, Weed?
Okay, that's it. We're stepping into cleanup now. So crew lock bag 1 is going to end up over with Luca, and let's make sure we got everything we need to there. We're happy with changing things up a little bit. For example, the trash bag that we got to bring in can go into crew lock bag 4 with the other stuff you put in there if you prefer, or we can put it in crew lock bag 1. We won't have to open it up again.
Yeah, I think it might fit in crew lock bag 1 a little bit better. So, Luca, I'm going to hand you, if you want to give me your BRT ret, and I'm going to hand you, give you control of crew lock bag 1.
You want to drive the camera there?
Camera is temp stowed on bag.
Perfect. All right, just give me a second. I'm going to prep everything up. Here's my ret for the BST.
Your bag is effectively inventoried. That's not it. Let me hand me your ret.
Here, just put it on our viewing.
Yep. And this one is inventory, but the only thing we're going to add to it at this point is the trash bag.
Okay, we're going to put it in there. Okay.
I think Weed is ready for us to do that.
Affirm. So we don't need to inventory crew lock bag 1. We're just going to carefully add the trash bag.
I'm going to add the trash bag, and the ret needs to go with it, Luca.
Okay, so use the ret. You can use this one. Go on the outside right there. And release it. Release the bag. If you can release I can release the ret too.
Yes, the ret will go with it. And you can put that to the inside of the bag.
Yeah, I'll put everything inside.
Okay, good words there.
Wait, that.
Drew, I think the next thing you could work on is the taking the red bit off the PGT and putting it on the socket caddy and crew lock bag 2.
Copy.
Luca, we won't have a lot of other stuff here for you, but maybe a bit of a site survey with the camera might be useful for us before you leave the work site.
Absolutely. Let me grab the camera from the bag, and I'll do just that. I was just about to retrieve it. I did video survey also.
Sorry, Luca, I missed that. What did you say?
And I did a video survey earlier.
Okay, excellent.
And I'll also do one with the camera.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, the red bit's back on the socket caddy. Good pull test.
Okay, well, while you're there, let's inventory crew lock bag 2.
Okay, we've got crew lock back 2 oriented with the handle up. And on the exterior, a small. And that's all I'm tracking on the exterior. And starting.
Okay, we're following along.
I have integral red that is attached to an adjustable. On either end of this adjustable are the lancer and the dyno cutter. And the one immediately adjacent to it, the next clock position over, is an integral to an adjustable. And we've got the vice grip on one end and an empty hook on the other. And working our way around, the next thing I have is an empty integral red, and then for the next integral red I have socket caddy with the red, gold, and green bit on it. And then over on the left side, for the 9 to 10 o'clock position, I've got a small red with zip tie cutter.
Okay, that's a good inventory, Drew, so you can pack that one up. We're done with 2.
Copy. And I'll put 2 back into the green. Archer, are you back?
Green bag, hook 2, you got it.
This is Mission Control Houston at the 5-hour, 26-minute mark into today's initial spacewalk, and a quartet of excursions for Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan planned for the repair of the alpha magnetic spectrometer. Not only did Parmitano and Morgan complete all of the work associated with this first spacewalk, they pressed ahead and in very efficient fashion completed a number of tasks that were on the docket for the second spacewalk, scheduled for 1 week from today, including the removal of the vertical support beam cover that essentially houses the 8 stainless steel cooling tubes that will be cut and spliced together in preparation for the acceptance of the next upgraded thermal tracker pump that will restore full cooling to the alpha magnetic spectrometer. They jettisoned its cover, removed some spacer devices, and connected a data cable originally planned for the second spacewalk. So they're well ahead of the game here at this point and are in the process of conducting inventory of their tools and tethers as you look at Drew Morgan from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera as they take pictures of one another in the home stretch of today's initial spacewalk.
That's good.
All right.
Gonna go back to my orientation. Go back, actually.
Hey, Luca, the other thing we want to do, just since we're leaving this stuff out for a week, is go back to those vacuum case handrails and just double check they're black on black locked, or the arrows are touching.
Hey, I'm locked, black on black, vacuum case Zenith, major vacuum case on black tunnels around. And the one on the diagonal beam, the three jaws are closed, locked, black on black, good full test, good wiggle test.
Okay. I think the next thing is to get Luca on his way back for the robotics. One thing to consider is whether we're going to have to move Drew's APFR again or not.
So I guess it depends on the back way. If we do, Luca, if we go straight towards your feet here, I think we're going to be just fine.
That depends on Jessica and on her restrictions.
Hey, Jessica, you with us?
We are with you.
And if we were to go towards Luca's feet to clear him from AMS, what are your concerns in that direction?
Are you talking about just coming out to finish the EVA, or are you talking about to do something else?
Negative. This would be to clear him of AMS for your first OCAS away.
Jessica, he's saying go straight down towards my feet and then to whatever published position.
Okay, so yeah, we have two options. We can start with that if you guys think that's best. We also have a recommended order of bringing out all of these inputs and getting you guys out of the work site based on our conversations with Robo.
As long as we are clear, we are happy with whatever you prefer.
Okay, based on that, let us know what you think. The first thing that we were going to do was bring you body out.
And I definitely think going toward his feet is going to be the simplest for clearance out of here. Going body out starts to bring him towards my APFR and the bags and everything.
Okay, you guys have the best eyes on the clearance, so we will trust you on that one. So we will bring you body down.
Yeah, body down works the best right now. It gives me also the best opportunity for clearance.
Okay, copy. Body down. Okay, Luca, we're about to start body down. We'll have you clear our stop. You'll have you call our stop.
Guess we'll just have to take skills, Luke.
Starting motion.
Copy.
Your ingress date in?
Jessica Muir at the controls of the Canadarm2 robotic arm from the robotic workstation in the Destiny laboratory, beginning to maneuver Luca Parmitano back down to the area where he will dismount the Canadarm2 that he has used as a work platform throughout the course of today's spacewalk activities. The crew cleaning up their work site, taking inventory of tools and tethers before they make their way back to the Quest airlock. We're now at the 5-hour 31-minute mark into today's initial excursion to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
For the Ryu?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Out of the way.
How does that look, guys?
I'm completely clear on AMS here, so...
Yeah, so if we need to go a little bit more feet down to get his head clear of AMS.
And Drew and Luca, what do you think about a body out at this point or a roll to the left first?
A roll to the left would be better.
Roll? Oh, the Ryu is right here.
Yes, I agree. A roll to the left will bring your left shoulder closer to the Ryu.
I would prefer body out if Drew is free.
Yeah. We can do that as well.
Okay, body out. We're going to start going about 35 centimeters, but we will also take your call on this one.
Okay, yep. That's going to be one I'm going to watch closely.
Okay, that one is on Drew because it's going towards my back.
Okay, Drew, starting motion. You call my stop.
Copy. AC, good motion.
Copy, continuing.
Good motion, good clearance.
Copy, continuing.
Motion, good clearance.
How does that look now?
So now a roll will be okay. Looks good to me for whatever positioning you need to do.
Okay, we're going to roll you left 30 degrees. However, please watch those clearances and call a stop earlier than that if necessary.
I have a great view, so go ahead.
Yep, I have a good view too here, and all the ones relative to me are going to get better.
Okay, copy. Starting roll left.
As we're coming down, Drew.
Roger.
Clearance, Jessica.
Stand by, we're ramping out.
Copy. It's good clearance, no problem.
Stand by, Luke Andrew.
Okay.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, 5 hours 36 minutes into the spacewalk by Parmitano and Morgan. This view from Andrew Morgan's helmet camera of Luca Parmitano, and now the view from Parmitano's helmet camera as he is being maneuvered away from the alpha magnetic spectrometer back towards the Quest airlock as he and Morgan begin to enter the home stretch of today's spacewalk, having not only completed all of the work associated with the first spacewalk to prepare the alpha magnetic spectrometer for invasive surgery work that will begin on the next in the series of spacewalks 1 week from today, but having completed a number of tasks to provide access to the 8 stainless steel cooling tubes under the vertical support beam cover. Everything has gone by the book, if not better. In fact, the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer project team over in Switzerland reports that the tracker, which is essentially the device in the spectrometer that collects data on the cosmic ray events in the universe, is in great shape after this first spacewalk and ready for the continuation of the work to repair and replace its cooling system.
And how about finishing out that roll to the left now?
You can.
Okay, copy. Resuming roll left.
The International Space Station is about to enter an orbital sunrise over the central Pacific Ocean, moving from northwest to southeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator, orbiting at an altitude of 255 statute miles.
Just tell us when we are ramping out. Looking good.
Okay, yes, we've ramped out. We're stopping our roll.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, we're just going to clean up the yaw a little bit, so I'm going to yaw you a little bit to the right.
No issues.
Starting motion. Okay, Drew and Luca, we're going to bring you body up now, so we will want you to be looking at the clearance from the wrist and the boot plate to the diagonal beam.
Send the boot plate to the diagonal beam, yep, and those look good. They look much better than they were from my perspective.
Okay, copy. I'm going to start with 35 centimeters, but call me off early if necessary.
Copy.
Starting motion.
Copy. A little forward loop. Good, stay there. Hold that. Yep, right there.
Okay, stopping motion, body up.
Copy.
We're going to come left about 8 centimeters, if you're ready for that motion.
Body left 8 centimeters. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching.
Body left, starting motion. And keep your eyes on the left shoulder to the row you.
I got it. I'm clear.
Okay, it looks like we are within tolerance for our starting point. So give us a moment here to get set up for our first maneuver.
Okay, copy. All right, Weed, I'm ready to pick up with you if we've got a moment here to have another bag.
We sure do. What do you want to step into the ORU bag now, maybe?
Yeah, let's do the ORU bag. Okay, this is flap at 12 o'clock. On the left side, I've got the power data cable to, or let me start at there. I have a small ret to an adjustable to the power data cable with an EVA wipe and a wire tie. And also on the left side, I have a small ret with a pit pin. Actually, the last one is a pit pin ret as well. So these both are pit pin rets. This pit pin ret goes to an adjustable, and I've got the small locking electrical connector tool and the vice grip on the hooks of the adjustable. Then on the right side, I have one small ret with the terminator and one small ret with a pit pin to an adjustable, and on one hook is the EVA wipe and wire tie. On the exterior of this bag, I didn't get that up front, but we've got a large small and a small at.
Okay, that's a good config. So that is going on hook 4 in the green bag.
Okay, it's already on hook 4, and I'm just going to close this up.
Hey, Drew, that's the spot for the hand right there.
Yeah, that's going to take some cutting.
There's a lot of them to lie there.
Yeah, there's a lot covering it. So if you take some shots of that if you can. Right. I don't think we've done 4 yet. I might be able to do this one through the window here.
Okay, go for it.
Right. Block back 4 on the left side. I know this one's, I probably don't have a visual tool config to follow along on this one. This one's a little more been assembled on this PA. So I've got the
and Luke and Drew, if we can butt in, we are ready for the first of the maneuvers. Basically, this is just going to be a reverse of everything we did getting up here. So the first is just a single joint maneuver, bringing Luke up, body back.
I'm ready.
Okay, starting motion. Starting motion.
Copy. Keep motion. You got my back?
Yep, lean forward. To pitch. It's good. Good. To the left. Motion.
Motion.
Motion. I just wanted to... Are we paused for a second?
We can pause, and we have finished that maneuver.
Okay, perfect. All right. To go. Yep, all right. Even Luca, right there, if you look to see where my boot plate is right here.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I'm here.
Yep, okay. If you've got visual on it, you can see the boot plate and the ingress aid, we're good.
Yes, I got eyes on Drew. And we're good to continue.
We copy. We are just verifying our position for the next maneuver.
Copy.
Five hours, 45 minutes into the spacewalk. Luca Parmitano in this view from his helmet camera, along with Drew Morgan on the far right, taking documentation photography of the work site that they have left in great shape following the completion of all the work associated with the first of these 4 spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer, and pressing ahead to do a number of tasks originally earmarked for the second spacewalk that is scheduled 1 week from today. They soon will be re-entering the Quest airlock to close the hatch and begin the repressurization of the airlock to mark the official end of today's spacewalk, the 222nd, in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades.
Right, now you are definitely flying away from me.
And I'm clear from the boot plate completely right now.
Stopping motion for that maneuver, getting ready for the first of the joint OCAS series.
Copy, Jessica.
All right, Drew, we're ready for the crew lock bag 4.
Okay, crew lock bag 4 on the hand. I've got the handrail to the top here. On the left side, I've got a knob and a 12-inch and 2 arret from the knob to the shaft, and then I'm using an integral to the knob right now. I've got the GoPro with its bracket and a small arret attached to it. On the right side, I have the wire tie caddy that's only down 1 long wire tie. I've got the EVA wipe adjustable to the top spacer tool. I think that's everything, accounting for anything else there.
Just the large, small,
okay,
and the exterior.
Luca, if you are ready for motion, we're going to start with this JOCAS maneuver. It is about 1.5 minutes.
I'm ready for the first JOCAS.
Okay, here comes motion.
And Roger, we got the large, small, and the exterior.
Okay, you're bringing leg 4 in with you on your BRT.
Copy.
All right, your choice, Drew. You want to go to the green or the red bag?
I'd like to get the green bundles up, put away.
Okay. All right. I'll let you start it.
So, we'd also, I already got the transfer ret, the white taped ret from the vacuum case handrail, the lid, and the green bag.
Okay. And we got it on the lid. That's good.
All right, and then there are two large, small adjustables to the exterior, and I know those are going to stay. And then I've got the large, small ret to the handrail, and I know that's got to come inside.
And we're in position. Hold. Stand by while we load the next JoeCast.
Copy, Jessica. I'm standing by.
Okay, on the fish stringer on the side. Hook 2 has screw lock bag 2. Hook 1 and 3 are empty. Hook 4 RU bag 5 and 6 are empty. Hook 7 is the small trash bag.
Okay. That looks good.
You will give a second to look over this way. Make sure that everything is good this way.
Okay, Drew, the only...
to start the next one. It is 2-minute maneuver back to the AMS Common, and we're in course.
Copy. You'll go.
Drew, the only thing for you is the transfer ret. Just confirm it's on a tether point and not on the strap.
On tether point on both ends.
Okay, we're good with that bag. You can button it up.
Okay, copy.
And remember on these bags, we want to go to the lower tether point for the lid.
Roger that, and I still need to put the large small ret on the inside, and I think put that on the inside as well, correct?
Yeah, that's right, on the inside of the lid.
Okay, red bag.
Flying high over the South Pacific, good view of Luca Parmitano in a portable foot restraint at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm, as he is slowly but surely being maneuvered back towards the Quest airlock by NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, who is at the controls of the arm from a robotic workstation in the Destiny laboratory.
Okay, and then the inside we have the fish stringer. Hook 1 is empty, hook 2 is empty, hook 3 is empty, hook 4 and hook 5 has the upper mad, and the lower mad has a ret small and an adjustable ret to the upper mad.
Okay.
6 has the tool board, and the tool board has rough cutter, tube straightener, tube puller, 7/8 combination wrench, and the clean cutter. Everything is tethered. There's also an adjustable and a small ret. And then we've got at least 16 or 18 pieces of space back.
Copy that.
Drew Morgan continues to take inventory of the myriad of tools that he and Parmitano have been using during today's initial spacewalk, which is approaching the 6-hour mark.
Looking for the inspection mirror on hook 7 there, Drew, before you button that up. And you might have said it, but I didn't hear the nadir tube clip either.
The nadir tube clip was there. I did mention that one, Red, but I didn't mention the inspection mirror. That is there. I can see it on hook 7.
And Luca, getting ready to start the next Joecast. It is also in course 3 minutes.
Copy. Next Joecast course 2 minutes and I'm ready.
Okay.
It's a good inventory, Drew. You can close up the red bag. Same thing about the large, small, red.
Copy. I'm going to go take care of both of those large smalls together. Weed. My safety tether on the right, I've got red indicators showing.
Okay, we copy that.
With a pair of the station's solar arrays on the starboard truss of the station serving as a backdrop, Luca Parmitano being maneuvered in a sweeping fashion from the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer worksite back toward the Quest airlock, where he and Drew Morgan exited almost 6 hours ago to begin this first in a series of spacewalks to repair the cosmic ray detector.
All right, Drew and Luca, we're handing over LOS. I'll be back with you in about a minute.
Back here in Mission Control in the International Space Station Flight Control Room, the Orbit 2 team of flight controllers remains on console as they are presiding over the home stretch of this first spacewalk by Luca Parmitano of the European Space Agency, the Expedition 61 commander, and Drew Morgan, the NASA flight engineer. Parmitano in the final stages of the third spacewalk of his career. Drew Morgan soon to wrap up the fourth spacewalk of his career.
And Luca, we are ready for the next OCAST. That is going to be 3 minutes and still in course.
Copy. Ready.
Okay, starting motion.
Okay, Drew, we copied the red showing. Nice catch. We're impressed that you even noticed that. So basically, the end result is going to be we're going to use your waist tether to connect to the body of the safety tether on your way back in, and that'll give us a second path. So that's really the only impact.
And Luca copies.
And I think now I'm thinking about it, the way that it was fair-led around ELC, I could see that occasionally that the reel itself was getting caught on the edge of ELC2, and it was, when I was moving, maybe in APFRs, that was probably imparting loads, and the reel was staying put.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if you're happy with that plan, we're good. The other option is to do a more thorough inspection of the through tack stitches, and in which case we may be able to deem it go for regular use.
Okay. I'll get the bags in a better cleaned up configuration here, and I'll take a look.
Okay, position hold there and give us a minute. We're going to get loaded for the final JOCAS.
Copy. Take your time.
Station Commander Luca Parmitano at the end of the station's robotic arm with a bird's eye view of the world as the station flies over the South Pacific at an altitude of 255 statute miles, about to cross the west coast of South America over Chile.
Drew,
Yep.
on your way back, I do see your safety tether.
Yeah, on the light.
Yes.
Yep.
As long as you're aware of that, I just wanted you to, just wanted to be sure that you're aware.
Yeah, good reminder.
Hey, Luca, this is the final JOCAS, and it's going to be 3.5 minutes. Ready for motion?
Ready for motion, thank you.
Copy, start.
I'll tell you, it's a lot more entertaining when daylight. I'm actually enjoying the sight for once. I cannot. There you are.
All right, Weed, I've got both bags are closed to the bottom tether loop, and nothing is exposed. The large small rets are on the interior.
Okay, Drew, and then just give some consideration to moving those one of those adjustables to restrict the motion if you think that's required to leave them out there for a week.
I mean, I can cinch them up. I got them in a good position here. Is it required to do that?
Not that we're cinching them up. We're just wondering if the best config to limit the amount of swinging and bashing around of those bags over a week. So probably more than cinching, it would be moving one of the large hooks further away to keep it closer to structure. But you live in 0G all the time, so you know it's best for storing the bags.
The long ride back to the Quest airlock for Luca Parmitano.
I think the winds are
As we've passed the 6-hour mark in today's spacewalk, now it's 6 hours 5 minutes in duration. Parmitano will join Drew Morgan back at the Quest airlock. Morgan wrapping up the inventory he's taking of all the tools that were used during this first of 4 spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Okay, Luca, we have position hold. We're going to get set up now for our manual maneuver, and that will be the manual maneuver for your APFR egress.
Copy.
Okay, Drew, we're going to hand the comm over for GCA. So the last thing for you is to pick up your crew lock bag 4. And then if you don't want to bother with that inspection, just make sure your waist tether is on the body of the safety tether before you start translating back.
my waist tether is to the body of the waist. Copy.
And in that case,
hey, Luca, I'm going to bring
hooks.
you station aft about a meter if you're ready for motion.
I'm ready for motion.
Okay, starting motion.
Motion.
Be continuing. You should see the truss to your right.
I do see it. I got good clearance. All good.
Okay, that's your position for this maneuver.
Okay, this is my egress maneuver, egress position.
It is, unless you would like more additional GCA.
Let me see. Look at this. You can call the GCA complete and you can put the brakes on.
Copy, JCA is complete. Brakes are on.
Brakes are on, and am I go to egress?
You have go for APFR egress.
Copy, work. Okay, I have egressed the EPFR. I have a local tether on truss.
Okay, Copy, Luca. Now you're doing your safety tether swap. Drew, how are you making out?
Hey, I've got my large hook to my reel, my red reel, and it is both the large, small, and the large hook and the small hook are black on black.
Okay, that's a good config.
And Luca Parmitano now off of the portable foot restraint on the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm. He now will inchworm his way back to the Quest airlock to join Drew Morgan, who's wrapping up his inventory of tools that he and Parmitano used during this first spacewalk.
So I don't think there's tack stitching.
Copy. Oh, stand by, Drew. I forgot to ask you if you stowed the ingress aid or not.
I did. It collapsed and folded over.
All right, you the man.
My green hook from the airlock is locked black on my left-hand side hearing extender.
Copy.
And Luca, the next maneuver will bring the arm about 2 meters station zenith, which should be a better position for your APFR config.
Okay, I am clear of it, so you can do the motion, you can do the maneuver.
Okay, copy, Luca, stand by. Okay, Lucas, can maintain your own positive clearance from the APFR and the ingress aid?
And I can.
Okay, copy that.
And I can confirm that I'm clear of the APFR and the arm and ingress aid.
Okay, copy, Lucas, standing by. We're going to bring brakes off and get into mode.
Take your time.
Brakes are off. Okay, Luca, ready for zenith motion?
Ready.
Okay, starting motion.
Motion.
Copy, continuing.
So, Drew, as you...
Motion.
Sorry,
Continuing.
Can I grab the comm here for a second? Can we just pause?
Tapping the brake.
And for me, you can grab the comms. Drew, you have the comms if you want.
It's okay. Finish the GCA and we'll get it after.
Brakes fully depressed.
Motion.
Copy, you're in position.
Okay, Luca, and unless you need any more GCA, we will call that complete.
I don't think I do. What is my next option with the arm, Reed?
So, I didn't actually copy. Did you get the safety tether swap done already? And then the next thing we're doing is reconfiguring.
I have to retrieve the safety tether from the arm. I have my airlock one is on me. It's locked black on black. And currently I am in the course of retrieving.
Luca, brakes are on.
Copy, brakes are on, and I retrieved a second safety tether from the arm. The arm is clear.
Okay.
I think I have a reconfiguration that...
Yeah, the last thing you need to do is to pitch the whiff extender to Gulf. Whiff extender to Gulf. Drew, and I know Luca already reminded you about your safety tether in the light. The one thing, when you're picking up your green hook, if you want to get your waist tether back at any point, we can just take that green hook to your D-ring extender, and that'll give you your waist tether back.
Okay, copy. Well, I think I'm good to go. I used my end effector at that one point, and I don't know if you caught that. I got both the starboard port seated cart brakes, pumps, 2 times each. I got my green hook back. I'm inboard, and my tether is clear of the light.
Okay, yep, we copy the brakes. That's great. Drew, while you're standing there or floating there, do you mind giving us a quick glove check?
Half is dry, and the left glove, like I lost that flap of RTV on the left pinky that I was watching, and intact RTV underneath it, and the right glove looks fine. Looks good.
Okay, good words.
Okay, so I have it pitched to Gulf. Do I need to do something with the sail?
Just the
Currently extended.
Just the ingress aid needs to be stowed and retracted and stowed against the boot plate.
Retracted and stowed, okay. That's going to take some little work here.
Flying over the South Atlantic, the view from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera. He and Drew Morgan now rejoined on the truss of the International Space Station as they pre-position equipment that will be used 1 week from today in the second of the series of spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Crew lock back?
Yeah? You have one?
Yes.
Okay, never mind that.
So, Drew, what you can do next is go take a photo of that WIF 8 label on your way back.
Okay, copy.
And Luca, after you get that ingress aid stowed, just read off the settings on the APFR on your way back just to make sure we know what they are in case we need to use the arm.
Okay, so
You think I'll...
I'm on my way there, so I'll read you currently. I have Gulf on the weakest center is on 6, Gulf 7, and APFR is still at, Foxtrot.
Let's see if I can get under you.
And then I have Foxtrot 12. I'm working on the retracting. Yes. Interstate is now retracted. Lock it. Retracted, locked. And I'm folding towards the boots. And folded.
Okay, that's a good config, Luca. You're heading back to the airlock now. And once you're back on phase 1, Luca, we could get a quick glove check.
Yeah. I need to check where my safety data went while I did all this maneuvering, so give me a second to verify that. The safety went behind my feet.
No worries.
As I expected. Let's see if it looks good. Everything is still not good. There we go. Okay, so lock check. 1, 2. And with my gloves and there are no deltas to my gloves, still in pristine conditions.
Okay, copy.
Now at the top of the feet spur.
Okay.
Down.
Next for you, Drew, is heading into the airlock, stowing the 2 crew lock bags.
Weed, I got a single picture of that with, but I just got the local. It's just not that convenient right now to be messing with the camera.
Okay, maybe I can do it, Drew.
Yeah.
Which one is it? The with 8?
Yeah, with 8 is right here on the wagon wheel, and there's on that label.
I got it.
There's looks like maybe an emblem of Easter egg.
Yes, yeah. I can get in a good position to take a picture of that.
And should we go ahead and open the thermal cover?
A-firm.
And I'm going to use our...
And Morgan and Parmitano now back at the Quest airlock. The outer thermal cover is open. The crew soon will make their way back inside, close the cover, then close the hatch, and begin work for the start of the repressurization of the airlock that will mark the official end of today's spacewalk, which currently is approaching the 6-hour, 22-minute mark, the International Space Station flying east of Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Okay, I've got the airlock waist tether to my right D-ring extender and ski closed slider lock, black on black. I'm going to slide up inside unless you need me out there, Luca.
I'll get a couple of more pictures of this, and then I'll follow you.
Roger.
I think I'm good with pictures.
Okay, Drew, that was good config. We copied that you are secure on the airlock waist waist tether. So that gives Luca a go to retrieve your safety hook and connect to it.
Hey, Drew, you're safe. I'm retrieving your lock, your tether. You know, my safety on my waist tether. Okay, let's see. My right hand side waist tether is on your safety tether. It's both are locked and black on black, so I'm safe to be there. Do you think you can grab this bag for me?
Let's see here. Yeah.
Help my ingress. Can pass it to you.
Let me release mine. My BRT, and then I'll. Okay, I've got it inside, but it's not tethered yet. Hang on.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. Large hook is stowed on the handle.
I see it. Okay. All right, you can release it.
Actually, my DST tether is on it.
Okay, let me see where.
It's to a D-ring.
D-ring. Confusing yours for mine. Hang on. Okay, I see it. Okay, coming back to you.
Yep, I got it. There's a good throw there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to retrieve my safety tether.
We're following along, Luca. You're in a good config.
Here comes my safety tether. Goes also my mini workstation. And I'm turning around. Let's see, everything is tucked in. Drew, let me know when you're ready for me to start.
I'm ready for you to ingress. Are we okay to connect SCUs, or do you want to stand by?
You have a go to start connecting your SCU, Drew. Luca, you're go to ingress.
Copy.
Okay, go to ingress.
Plenty of room, Luca. I see your feet. Say, go to the ceiling, and then.
Let's go grab that.
Let's give it a push.
Wasn't much of a push. Yeah, coming back, is it? Go grab it.
My SCU is connected and locked.
The view from Luca Parmitano's helmet camera, Drew Morgan and he inside the Quest Airlock's crew lock section, about to close the outer thermal cover and then the hatch as the precursor to the repressurization of the airlock to mark the official end of today's spacewalk. As is customary, we will continue our coverage until the crew is back inside the equipment lock section of Quest and has doffed their helmets to make sure everything is in good shape following the repressurization of the crew lock section of Quest.
Just actually one thing, Luca, there's a Velcro strap there that we need you to get.
Underneath, that's, I was wondering about that. There's one here.
Yeah, that's it, Luca.
Okay, the Velcro strap is on the Velcro.
Okay, now you're good to connect to your SCU, Luca.
Copy, work.
A reminder for both of you, a TCV setting of 8 to max cold minimizes your time for cooling.
Okay, 8 to max cold, let's see.
8 to max cold.
I'm at, I'm currently at 8.
All right, Drew, confirm your SCU is locked.
SCU is locked.
ISU is locked.
Okay, you can switch water to off OFF, and then we're going to start a 2-minute clock.
Water to off, EV1.
Water to off, EV2.
Okay, we're waiting 2 minutes. In the meantime, you can verify that the hatchway is clear and verify the handle position per the decal. And prepare to close and lock the hatch, but don't close it yet.
The hatchway is clear. And I need to move back a little bit.
Make sure that the tether on that cue card is clear. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, it's clear. And the handle is in the correct position.
Okay. Got about 1:20 to go, and then we'll close the hatch.
Copy. And is this a good moment to talk, or should I wait?
We'll wait until he hands over at the end.
We have about another 45 seconds. It's been 6 hours and 32 minutes this EVA so far. And the last few minutes I got with you here, I got to tell you, you made the ground team awfully happy and proud of you guys today. It was just some excellent, excellent work. We are very, very pleased with where we stand moving forward and getting the alpha magnetic spectrometer back up and running. So congratulations to all of you up there today.
Go ahead, Luca.
And copy, read, Jeremy, and all the team on the ground. Drew and I were talking about this, and he's saying that it's a little early to talk congratulations. This is the first of the EVAs, but he believes that it's never too early to feel gratitude. And so today we want to express our thanks. If I may, note you guys on the ground are respecting this, but I would like to start with my crew here on board. I want to thank you, Jason and Christina, for their amazing work of support. This being my first EVA after 6 years, it feels very special. And then I'd like to thank the people on the ground that made today's successful EVA possible through the design of their tools, of our tools. People from Goddard and JC spend a lot of time developing these tools with their knowledge and the support of astronauts like Chris Cassidy and you, Jeremy. And we are very thankful that we were privileged to use those tools and to put them to very successful use. Thank you very much. And let this be the first successful step to a successful series of EVAs.
We concur, Luca. We appreciate those words. Let's get you guys back inside and a warm meal. So you can go ahead and close the EV hatch and lock it.
Okay, copy. I'll put that in work.
This is Mission Control Houston, 6 hours, 34 minutes into the spacewalk. Words of gratitude exchanged between spacewalk communicator Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency here on the ground and Luca Parmitano, the space station commander, now back inside the Quest airlock with Drew Morgan. The crew connected to their service and cooling umbilicals inside the Quest airlock's crew lock section, standing by for the start of the repressurization that will mark the official end of today's spacewalk.
Try to rotate to my right. Okay.
I'm going to rotate so that we're unclocked. Sure, those tethers are clear. They're trying to go that way.
I'm trying to put everything out right now. Okay, looks clear now. Everything is good. Going down. Okay. Match. Okay. Latch is clocked and locked.
Okay, good words. Drew, on the UIA, you can check oxygen EMU 1 and 2 valves are open.
Okay, oxygen EMU 1, 2 valves are open.
On the UIA, switch power to EV1 and 2 on. Check for the LEDs. 2 are on.
Copy. Power EV1 on with LED. Power EV2 on with the LED.
Okay, and check the volts.
I've got 18.6 and 18.6.
Okay, switch power for both of you on your DCM to SCU and expect a tone.
Copy. 1, 2.
2 SCU.
Okay, I stepped on a bit there, but I think I confirmed both of you are on power to SCU at this time. And we'll hand over to Nana.
And welcome back, guys. Phenomenal work, Luca, Drew, and Jeremy. It was great to listen to you guys today work together. And for both of you, take your O2 actuators to press.
Copy and work. O2 actuator press.
O2 actuator press.
Copy. Luca, check that the EV hatch MPEV is closed.
MPEV is closed on the EV hatch.
Copy. Now I'm going to be throttling the IV hatch equalization valve, and I'll take your words on how much or how little the rate is, and you can let me know if I can increase it.
Okay, copy.
Starting repress.
Copy.
And the view of Christina Cook and Jessica Meir in the equipment lock section of Quest as we stand by for the repressurization of the crew lock section to mark the official end of today's spacewalk.
Andrew and Luca, how's the rate?
You can go faster.
Yeah, you definitely go faster.
Yes.
The repressurization of the Quest airlock underway, the spacewalk having concluded at 12:18 p.m. Central Time, 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time, and a lapse time of 6 hours, 39 minutes for this first of 4 planned spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer. Again, the spacewalk coming to an end at 12:18 p.m. Central, 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time, the spacewalk concluding at 6 hours, 39 minutes. We'll have more comprehensive statistics for you in a moment.
Andrew and Luca, how's that rate? Would you like a little increase?
Good for me.
Good.
Copy. Bumping up the rate slightly.
Yep.
Andrew and Luca, for your awareness, at about 4 psi, you can expect an alert tone.
Copy.
Copy.
We're showing you getting close to 2 psi at this point.
And how far away from norm?
We're about 2/3 of the way to norm, but also for your awareness, at 5 psi, we will be pausing the repress for a leak check.
Right.
So I can go ahead and tell you that that's coming up. So I think we'll probably just stop it at that point.
Copy.
Copy.
Okay, that's us at 5 psi, and we have paused the repress. We're going to be waiting 2 minutes for the crew lock pressure to stabilize.
Great job today, Luca. You're awesome.
Thanks to you. It only works as a team. Thank you so much for everything, Drew.
10.
This is Mission Control Houston. The repressurization of the Quest airlock is continuing up to 14.7 pounds per square inch. That will lead to the opening of the hatch separating Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan from Christina Cook and Jessica Meir, who are in the equipment lock section of Quest awaiting them. In the meantime, some statistics for you. This was the 222nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly and maintenance. The 9th spacewalk out of the International Space Station this year. Luca Parmitano completed the 3rd spacewalk in his career, now totaling 14 hours, 18 minutes of spacewalking time. This was the 4th spacewalk for Drew Morgan. He has now logged 26 hours and 57 minutes of spacewalks. The 222 spacewalks in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades now have totaled 1,395 hours and 8 minutes of spacewalking time, which is the equivalent of 58 days, 3 hours, and 8 minutes of spacewalking time since spacewalks began at the station in December of 1998. And this was the 4th spacewalk for Expedition 61. The 4th spacewalk now totaling 27 hours and 42 minutes of spacewalks for Expedition 61. Again, Parmitano and Morgan not only completed everything that was on tap for the first of these 4 planned spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer, including the removal of a debris shield cover and the vertical support beam cover that houses cooling tubes that have yet to be cut and spliced together in support of the installation of a new cooling pump that will take place on the 3rd spacewalk of this series of 4 spacewalks in early December. But they completed a number of get-ahead tasks associated with the second spacewalk that will occur 1 week from today. That spacewalk will begin at the same time today's spacewalk did, with a start time of approximately 6:05 a.m. Central Time, 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, November 22nd.
Let me know how the rate is.
Copy.
And based on that rate, would you like any more?
I like these rates.
Again, Luca?
He said he likes this rate.
We will stay at this rate.
Yep.
Christina, are you about 3/4 to norm?
That's affirmative, Luca.
Drew, how do you feel?
I'm ready. You can turn it all the way up as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, let's do it.
Copy. I'll take it to Norm and check back in with you. That is Norm. How's the rate?
Good rate.
So far, so good.
Peace.
Yeah, 10.0. .0.
NASA astronauts Christina Cook on your left, Jessica Meir on your right, awaiting the completion of the repressurization of the crew lock section of Quest before they open the hatch and begin to bring the two spacewalkers, Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan, back inside the equipment lock and assist them in doffing their helmets. Once again, the spacewalk ending at 12:18 p.m. Central Time, 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time, for an elapsed time on this first of 4 spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer at 6 hours 39 minutes. Drew Morgan now has logged 4 spacewalks totaling 26 hours and 57 minutes. Luca Parmitano's third spacewalk today brings him to a total of 14 hours and 18 minutes of spacewalking time, and there are your complete stats up to date, including today's excursion by Parmitano and Morgan. They'll be back outside 1 week from today in the first of this 4-act scenario to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer, with our coverage beginning on Friday, November 22nd at 4:30 a.m. Central Time, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, you can slowly continue back up.
Copy that. Slow rate back up. We've reinitiated the repress with a slow rate.
Copy, thank you.
How you doing, Luke?
Great, thank you. Fourteen point one.
Copy 14.1. And Luke and Drew, we are showing that we are ready to open the hatch. We're going to put that to work.
Copy.
Airlock Houston on Space Ground 1. While you're opening that hatch, we will put step 4 in work, and then you can continue on through that step into step 7.
Copy all.
And the hatch is open to the crew lock section of Quest. Christina Cook now will work in tandem with Jessica Meir to bring in the two spacewalkers and place them on either side of the equipment lock section of Quest for the documentation of photography. Big thumbs up there from Jessica Meir. Their gloves and suits will be documented through digital photography, those photos to be downlinked to the ground for analysis by engineers before the crew is assisted in doffing their helmets.
Airlock Houston, Space to Ground 1 for Drew.
Go ahead, Mark.
I lost track of the fact that Drew may not be able to hear us right now. We had a drop-off on the biomed data from Drew, so like has happened before, once he gets out of the EMU, we need him to let us know what serial number biomed pigtail he's using, and also the sternal harness he's using, as well as let us know if it was still connected well or not.
Okay, Mark, copy all.
And Drew Morgan now back inside the equipment lock section of Quest with almost 27 hours of spacewalking time now logged in his 4 spacewalks since his arrival on board the station back in July. As this crew is typically fond of doing, fist bumps and hugs accompanying the return of the spacewalkers back inside the Quest airlock. And Luca Parmitano, the space station commander, now being assisted back inside the equipment lock. The simplified aid for EVA rescue bracket being removed from Luca Parmitano's suit. Drew Morgan on the left, Luca Parmitano on the right, safely back inside, awaiting the doffing of their helmets. Jessica Meir is recording suit data, which is typical for a post-spacewalk data evaluation. Some photos will be taken of their gloves and the suits. That is common practice before their helmets are doffed. 6 hour, 39-minute spacewalk but the work has just begun to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer, the second in the series of spacewalks slated 1 week from today. This is Mission Control Houston, safely back inside the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock. Our spacewalkers for the day today, Luca Parmitano of the European Space Agency on your right, Drew Morgan of NASA on your left. Now with their helmets having been doffed, will be assisted out of their extravehicular mobility units, their spacesuits, by Jessica Meir and Christina Cook. Their spacewalk at an end, 6 hours and 39 minutes today, the first of 4 planned spacewalks to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer cosmic ray detector, one of the more ambitious tasks that spacewalkers will have undertaken since the Hubble Space Telescope servicing mission of years ago during the Space Shuttle era.
For that later step, both are 100% satisfied with their suit fit. They don't want any changes before the next EVA.
Copy. That completes step 55. Thank you.
Jessica Meir reporting that the 2 crew members very happy with the sizing of their suits for the next spacewalk. A good segue into our promotion of our coverage for the next spacewalk, which will be a week from today, November 22nd. Our coverage beginning as it did this morning at 4:30 a.m. Central Time, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time for a spacewalk in which the crew will actually begin some of the invasive surgery work to cut cooling lines in the preparation for the installation of a new cooling pump on the 3rd spacewalk that's planned for the early December timeframe. With that, we'll complete our coverage for the day. The spacewalk at an end, 6 hours and 39 minutes, the crew having completed all of the work for the first spacewalk and quite a bit of work at the beginning of what had been tasked for the second spacewalk 1 week from today. And with that, we'll complete our coverage. We'll see you 1 week from today with our coverage of the next spacewalk in the series to repair the alpha magnetic spectrometer. Until then, have a great weekend. Wrapping it up here, signing off. This is Mission Control Houston.